What are you doing here? Oh, you're expecting a review with positivity and shiny stuff and all sorts of warmness and positivity about books. You've come to the wrong review, pal. You should leave now. In fact, go check out one of my other videos. Or to get yourself even further away, go check out Chris Buckman, Angry Joe. I'm sure Jen Moresi has a new video up. She's always really fun to watch. So get out of here because this review is quite unfortunate. Still here? Alright, let's get on to the review. Okay, so in 1999, author Lemony Snicket debuted the first book in a series of unfortunate events, aptly titled The Bad Beginning. Now, I started reading these when I was in 5th grade, and I absolutely loved them. And even all these years later, they still hold a special place in my heart because, in addition to R.L. Stine's Goosebumps series, this series was sort of what got me more into reading. And it started with The Bad Beginning, then The Reptile Room, The Wide Window, The Miserable Mill, the Azatiri Academy, the Aristote's Elevator, The Vile Village, The Hostile Hospital, The Carnivorous Carnival, The Slippery Slope, The Grim Grotto, The Pentimate Peril, and, of course, the end. 13 books took over this fantastic series, and you don't have to be a kid or even really all that young to enjoy these books. These books are absolutely terrific, and I think why it resonated with me so well at the time was I was never really terrified all that much by what was happening to him. It's like, yes, I recognize that Count Olaf is quite the scary character, and that these kids were going through all sorts of horrible things. And for those of you that aren't familiar with a series of unfortunate events, I'm going to kind of summarize the very first book without spoilers, of course, and then kind of very literally brush upon the sequels. So The Bad Beginning starts out with the 3 Baudelaire children on the beach, and they're having a terrific time, and all of a sudden they get news that their parents have died in a terrible fire, and that the eldest, Violet, will get the inheritance when she comes of age, which hasn't happened yet. So these 3 now orphans are sort of carted off to their closest relative, which is taken in a kind of different direction. Instead of being the closest related relative, it's literally the closest relative, which happens to be this man called Count Olaf, who is like a cousin 3 times removed or something ridiculous like that. And Count Olaf is this sinister, nasty, awful man whose aspirations are to not only be rich but to be an actor. And his house is as disgusting as he is. I mean, when Lemony Snicket is describing this place, it feels like you're there, and you feel like you're getting down and dirty with the Baudelaire children. And of course, Count Olaf is really just in it for the money, and he puts these kids through all sorts of crap, not only in the first book, but some of the other ones as well. He's the main antagonist, and while he's enjoyable at times, sort of like Loki was in the Avengers or Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Count Olaf is a terrifying figure. And he has absolute staying power. You never get sick of him, and there's a reason that he's so terrifying, from the hair to the mustache and the beard, and of course the infamous ankle tattoo. I mean, Count Olaf, his key thing is that he's identified by this ankle tattoo, and I'm not going to give away why it becomes such an important thing. You'll have to read it. And for those that are parents and are wondering, should I let my kid read these books? Are they really so terrible? And when I started reading these when I was in 5th grade, and for me, the unfortunate events, so to say, weren't what resonated with me so much. It's like I was aware of them, and it certainly made me feel more fortunate for what I had and what my parent, and being thankful for my parents. But I think what resonated with me the most was the 3 main characters and how they overcame those odds. And I think exposing your kids to this sort of stuff in a fictional world is healthy, because in a way it builds them up for in the real world stuff. So when terrible things happen in the real world, which it does, you can try to delay that as much as you want, but it's going to happen eventually. And I think learning about it in fiction is a healthy way to sort of prep them and to help them grow. And it's like, I recently got into the Netflix series, which came out sometime last week, and I was very pleased with that as well. And it's almost the series, the television series is almost follows the book to a fault. And as far as what the kind of style the book goes into, I think I would sort of describe it as reading a Tim Burton movie, a kind of muted Tim Burton movie. It's not quite as big and as grand, but as far as the feel and the tone and the atmosphere, it's very Tim Burton-y. There's some dark humor in there, and there's weird characters, and it's like the youngest, the baby Sonny, she can chew through just about anything with these sharp teeth. And I mean, she's just a baby, but you totally buy it because you get sucked into the world. And the series of unfortunate events have stuck with me so much, and I think it's one of the I think it's a must read for anyone that is at the 4th, 5th grade level, and even adults would really love this book series. I've revisited them a little bit, and that they are just as good as I remember them. It wasn't like revisiting them and being like, oh, these aren't quite as cool as or as good as I remember. They're really well written, and the book series gradually grow in page numbers too. It's not significant like in Harry Potter, where book 1 is, let's say, I think it was like 200 or 300 pages, then book 8 or 7 or 8 or how many it goes up to is over 1,000. The very last book in this series is somewhere around 350 pages. So the page number starts to go up a little bit. So it's another way that it helps your kids to sort of learn how to read bigger and longer books. So I think the 3 Baudelaire children are terrific characters. I mean, they've each got their own set of skills, and there's something about each of them, whether it's Violet tying up her hair when she's working on something, and then it's like I said, Sonny chews through things. That's her thing, and then the baby talk is cute as all get out. But and of course, the author straight up tells you not to read it. So what are you gonna do when somebody tells you not to do something? You're gonna do it, and that's part of the nature of the story. Lemony Snicket is a terrific author, I think, and these are worth checking out. Thank you everybody for joining me. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter. My first 2 books are available on Amazon, and I'm sure you can find the series of unfortunate events on there as well, if you so desire. I mean, if you can't, nobody will blame you. They are rather unfortunate.